Ahoy, hoy, everybody! I'm looking at my phone because I'm like, these are my notes. Welcome to 2023. You keep your notes on your phone. So, welcome everybody to the world's most interesting news note, the most interesting news in the world update for November. Wow, November 1st. This is like the first one I think I've done on the very first day of the month. I think it's super cool. That can't be true, can it? Whatever. So, welcome everyone. If you've never seen this show before, this is where I talk about what I think is the most interesting news in the world. And if you want to hear what you think is the most interesting news in the world, then send me an email and go, I think this is way more interesting. So, what is the most interesting news in the world to me today? Well, OMG. It's like we've got a Symphony of Possibilities class coming up this weekend, and it's the one that's right before Maestro. So there's Maestro for Access Consciousness. Maestro is the class that has the most prerequisites. And, if you're someone that's never taken an Access Consciousness class, let's do this. You might be someone that thinks, oh my God, look at all those people taking all of those classes. They have trust fund money or whatever it might be, whatever your points of views are that come up. If you're looking at your very first bars class, let's say first bars class, maybe even a first bars session, you're like, I don't have the money for that. I can tell you right now, many of the people going to this, many people going to this Maestro class are kind of in that same boat. I'm in that boat right now. So I'm not going to try and talk about everybody as if they are me, other than that's where I'm at. And boy, Maestro, as with every single Access Consciousness class, it brings up, I shouldn't say it brings up, but when you're interested in making a choice to go beyond everything you believe in, and I don't mean everything you believe in like all the good stuff, I mean everything you believe in that is holding you back from having everything you would really like to have, all the stuff you think you would like to have, you're like, I would love to have that, but I can never do it, but I can never do it, that kind of stuff. I can't imagine ever having these possibilities in life, this kind of stuff. Maybe you're someone that's never chosen adventure. Now, I'm a certified facilitator of Access Consciousness, and for a long time, I always thought people were interested in adventure. I have recently discovered most of you out there are not, and that's totally okay. You do not have to be interested in adventure. I just say that because I always was. I love adventure. I'm interested in it. I want to do more of it, like all the time. Oh my God. And this is cool. This is fun. This is the fun, most interesting news in the world day. So let's do this, because I am realizing right now in talking about it that I have a point of view about adventure. What's my point of view? One, that it's fun. That's actually not a point of view. That's an awareness. It's great. I love it. And I'm like, how much have I had the point of view? In order to have an adventure, I need, and I do mean need, some sort of obstacle, some difficulty, some problems. Wow. Anybody want to pock and pod that? So if you've never heard the Access Consciousness clearing statement, it goes like this: right, wrong, good, bad, purple, line, shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. Yeah, baby. Wow. I should start charging for these shows. I should charge for this right now. I'm going to charge you something. But most of the people that this would, if they don't want this, they're not going to find it. So all the definitions, this is one of my favorite things to do, taking a word, but it's not just the word. It's you get to just not only the word, and not only the word itself, but the energy of what you've decided it is. So everything you've decided what adventure is, we destroy and uncreate it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, line, shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. And everything you've decided what adventure is not, that it actually is, will you just turn on create all that. right around good, bad, pop, all night, shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. You know, because like adventure is like an adventurous movie, right? Where like everything's difficult. Really, honestly, one of my favorite superheroes is from Deadpool, and it's this girl that's like, I'm lucky. And everybody's like, that's not a superhero power. She's like, yeah, I'm lucky. And she's like the only one that doesn't die, and everything just works out for her. It doesn't matter what's going on in the world, explosions, people dying, things flipping over, cars crashing, trains exploding. She's just like always okay. What if that was adventure? Like the adventure of possibility. Ooh, the possibility adventure, the adventure of one of those two. Because I'm like, I need to have adversity in order to, you know, have adventure and feel like I'm alive. Everything that brings up, times guides in which turn to create it all, right? Wrong, good, bad, pop, night, shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. Now I want to do a side note. I say feel on purpose because Gary Douglas did a telecall called Feelings. There's probably a foundation prerequisite to it. If you really would like to change your entire freaking life, get to that freaking frick, because I feel like I'm on public television. I'm not going to say the big word. Get to that foundation class and get this feelings call. Holy majoli capoli. Wow. Feelings are like one of the number one things you use to keep yourself from choosing what could really truly be possible for you, myself included. So, this maestro class, these classes, all of them, like I'm like forgetting about the Symphony of Possibility, this class that starts in like 12 hours. And that's a huge, I'm like, whoa. And these classes, every single one of them is a massive, well, invitation, or I guess can be, maybe not every single one of them, but they can be, depending on you, a massive choice to go beyond everything you thought was real and true into what is actually possible, which is always, like, for me, it's always been more. There's always been more possible than what I previously thought. And so reversing to the past, man, this has been like the most coolest last 2 months of my life yet. This is great. We did if you've been watching the show, we did the beginning of the revolution in Texas. Then we went to Costa Rica and we did, what the heck was that called? The beginning of a new reality. And that's where it's like, this new reality is really, maybe some of you are feeling it. And but you're like, I feel messed up. And if you feel messed up, it's quite possible that there's a heck of a lot of possibility that you are either about to choose or could choose, or you're not trying to choose, and all of the above. And that's what makes you feel all messed up. And for some of you, you like are actively choosing it. You're going to. And so you try to create your own obstacles before you get there. But all you really got to do is, interesting point of view, I have this point of view, and go, what would I really like to choose? Because there's one thing in the Bible, and I do realize I'm on Turkish television, which still includes people that like Christianity and Catholicism, not just Islam, but I'm sure it says it somewhere in the Quran that ask and you shall receive. So, notice how, like, if you have something that you can choose, or that you might even like to choose, but sometimes you won't even like let yourself look at whether or not you'd like to choose it because you've already decided you can't choose it. Or you have something that you've decided you don't want to choose it, and then you tell yourself you can't choose it because you think you should be choosing it. Like a class, like this Maestro class. I'm going to use that because just that's what's going on for me. And it's super applicable. And it's like, because as I've probably said before, and I'm going to always keep saying, is you got to keep asking questions. Notice and be willing to notice when you're not asking questions. Like, I can't make it to this class is not a question. I mean, it can be an awareness if it's like the class starts in 30 seconds and you don't have the cash for it, but you could still ask more questions. What else is possible is a start. And then you also want to take action. You got to look at what you can take, what action you can take. Because you just sitting around isn't exactly going to create money unless it just, magically starts falling out of the sky. And if it does magically start falling out of the sky, amazing. But if you're sitting there waiting for 3 months on end, like, when's it going to fall out of the sky? You might want to get to work. And when I say get to work, I mean, get to moving, move, just start moving. Sometimes that's all it takes is just to start moving. It doesn't even matter which direction you go, just go. It's like if you're lost in the forest, do you just sit there or maybe start walking? And you're like, we don't know where we're going. Well, let's start walking and figure out where we might be going. Now, if you ever are lost in the forest, I highly suggest either walking uphill or downhill, if that's an option. Because if you go downhill, you might find your way to a stream, if you kind of get a sense that there might be a stream nearby. Or if you walk uphill, you can find yourself to like the top of a hill and maybe get a better vantage point and you can like see, or you can climb a tree to get that vantage point. But really, see, notice how it's just like all of those are your available choices to you, but you don't just want to really sit there. You want to start walking. Now, there are some times where just sitting there is what you want to do because you're like, wait a second, people know where I went. So if I leave here, they might not find me. There you go. So I would love to use today's show to contribute to all of you, creating whatever it is you would like to create in your life. I didn't start necessarily access consciousness because I was like upset or depressed. I started because I was like, that. I don't even know what it is. That. I want that. And I also started because someone was like, hey, you want to try this? And I was like, sure. That was like my initial start was sure. My sister handed me a book. My sister asked me if I wanted my bars run. I was like, sure. She's like, can I try this new stuff I learned on you? I was like, heck yeah, you can try whatever you want. It's great. And then she was like, hey, do you want to read this book? I think you'd really like it. She was correct. She gave me Dr. Dane Heer's book called Embodiment. Boy, I've never read a book so fucking fast. Oh, see, I did it. I broke my own rule. I read it in a week. At that point in time in my life, I was like, I still am not a very fast reader, but holy cow, at that time, I was like, I was reading it every night for like, I don't know, an hour, and it's not a long book. So that's how slow I read. Like, I did the audiobook for it. Yes. I'm the guy that did the audiobook for it. And boy, can I tell you, it was intense in a super cool, spacious, amazing way, and how freaking intense it was. Because there's like so much space, so much presence with my body was required to like, it was like reading it by myself times a bazillion, godzillion. Yeah, which is a very large number. I have no idea. There's like multiple trillions. There's like at least a billion trillion zeros in that number I just previously stated. So that's how big it is. It's very big. It's very significant. Yes. So, and I read this book every night for a week. And I was like, that's cool. I liked it. That was pretty much it. I was like, man, because I liked my body. And truth, do I still like my body? No. What the fuck? That's weird. Is that my point? So here's a tool, and there's an app called Who Does This Belong To? Truth, do I like my body? Oh, maybe I do. Is that mine? So not liking my body is mine or somebody else's. Pock and pod, everywhere I bought that point of view is mine, and return it to sender with consciousness attached. What is consciousness? Consciousness includes everything and judges nothing. There's just like no exclusion. There's just like everything is, and nothing is judged. And because judgment really just tries to confine something and put it into a box and make it what it isn't. It tries to say, hey, it's like me looking at a pillow and going, white pillow, and being like, you're a yellow brick. The pillow's like, what? Where you can be like, see, like try and judge a white pillow. Like, you're a white pillow. Pillow's like, I'm a pillow. So, wow. Holy moly, spicoli, bajoli. So who does that belong to? Everything that is times God's and we destroy and create it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, all nine shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. Now, when you get the who does this belong to app, and this is what you want to do with feelings. You want to do this with thoughts, feelings, emotions. I feel like I don't know what emotions are. I'm like, what the hell is an emotion? Although I do see people being all like, I'm emotional. I'm not sure I've ever said I'm emotional. I don't really. I need some help with that one. Oh, that's the thing I kept being like, I need to research. The other day I was like, there's something I wanted to research and I can never remember what the heck it was, which probably means I'm extremely, there's something there for me dynamically. I know that when I can't remember something really well or blah, 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 I'm either resisting it dynamically or there's a level of awareness that I have with it that I'm not willing to actually acknowledge. Yes. So you might be able to apply that to yourself. This is like the best damn show I've done yet. So y'all are lucky. Like I said, I should be charging like at least $1,000 for this. Oh my goodness. God, lucky folks. Lucky you. Yeah, lucky you. You're not even lucky, you're smart because you made sure you was here. Even if this is like 10 years from now, you're like, I wasn't there at the right time. What do you mean? Just because you weren't there when I was there doesn't mean it wasn't the right time for you. Ooh. So everything that brings up for all of you, and not to use that as like a reason to not choose. It's just not the time for me. I'm sorry. If you're saying it's just not the time for me, you're not. Because it's not the time for me is more of an awareness in the past. When if you're like looking at something right now, you wouldn't go, it's not the time for me. You'd go, do I want it? Yes, no. Period. Would I like to have that? Yes, no. Yes. Well, if it's a fucking yes, then what else is possible? What do I got to be and do to create that? And you don't have to judge yourself. You succeed, you don't succeed. It's all easy breezy, baby. Easy breezy, baby. Not that the future of the planet, hinges on your choice, except for the fact that it does. But we'll talk about that at a later time. So, this is great. This is great. I am Groot. So we are not actually done with the show. Really, that's interesting. This is wild. We're going to just do a little ESB. I mean, yeah, Symphony of Possibilities, not ESB. Dane does the ESB. So we're going to do some Symphony of Possibilities, like a group symphony taster session. There we go. So if you're like, what the fuck is that, bro? All you got to do is just close your eyes and relax. Relájate. Lay down if you have a chance or sit in a chair or something. And I say close your eyes because it allows your brain to turn off. But you might close your eyes and you're like, oh my God, my brain is racing. Yes, because we're changing your mind. We're not changing your mind. We're just like saying, hey, you don't have to make any of it real. You don't have to hold on to it so intensely so much anymore. And your mind will go, no, oh my God, grab onto reality. What? Like asking what else is possible that I don't have to leave? Instead of what else is possible beyond the mind? So it's cool that we're doing this energy work, this this group symphony taster session work, because it's really a taster of. So this weekend, I told you, is a Symphony of Possibilities class. So there's a bunch of people going to this Symphony of Possibilities class too. I'm going to use the word learn for the lack of a better term, or get coached also for the lack of a better term, but really go to this party, this invitation of being someone that would like to not only be, as everything I'm talking about, be beyond all this stuff, this reality, but also somebody that can contribute to and can and does contribute to others being beyond their own realities and being beyond everything they thought was a limitation. So that's what this Symphony of Possibilities class is all about. And the maestro too afterwards. It's like a Symphony of Possibilities on steroids. Symphony of Possibilities. Yeah, I'm not really going to talk any further about it. You either want it, like if you see it, like if you're here right now doing this and you're like, holy fuck, this is cool, I want that. Then you're one of those people. Then all you got to do is pocket pot everything doesn't allow me to be at one of those classes. Yeah, baby. And you don't have to come to conclusion. And you don't have to judge you when you come to conclusion. Do as I say, don't do as I do. Haha. Itchy eye. itchy eye is like icky Ichabod. It's a book I read for my son. Wow. I'm only saying my son because that's what this reality calls him. He is so not my son to me. He's just like this super cool dude with a tiny body. Like and the body is, oh, I always thought the person needed to learn the mechanics in the body. It's the body that needs to learn the mechanics. Whoa. Oh my God. Holy moly spicoli. Holy spicoli moly. Wow. Everything is the opposite. Everything I ever thought it was not true. Everything is different than what I thought it was. That's what it is. Yep. Which is basically like saying everything is opposite of what it appears to be, and nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be. That's more of like a tool to get you out of your head and your mind. And what I just said there is more like an acknowledgement. So you don't, and acknowledgements can kind of get you to think. The acknowledgement should, like, it can either just create space for you and you're like, oh, cool. And it's just an awareness and you don't have to hold on to it for longer than a half a second or longer than 10 seconds. You can if you like. I wouldn't really suggest it. But if you start holding on to anything, you can, well, everything is absolute appears to be, nothing is absolute appears to be, everything is absolute appears to be, nothing is absolute appears to be, everything is absolute appears to be, nothing is absolute appears to be, everything is absolute appears to be, nothing is. See, as I say it, I can feel a lot of people are like, no, don't make me give up my reality. When if I just do the energy, I'm not, you don't, when I'm just doing the energy, I'm like, hi, space. And you're like, oh, everything is absolute appears to be, nothing is absolute appears to be, everything is absolute appears to be, nothing is absolute appears to be, everything is absolute appears to be, nothing is absolute appears to be, everything is absolute appears to be, nothing is absolute appears to be. This is cool. This is neat. This is by far the most different group symphony taster sessions energy I've ever been a part of. Like, as far as me being the, I'll say, facilitator, the conduit. So all you gotta do is lay back and receive, y'all. But not just receive, be willing to allow yourselves. Nope, never mind. You can also contribute. Booyah. So I do want to mention, I talked about how I was the narrator I was lucky. I was the lucky guy that got to narrate the embodiment, the manual you should have been given when you were born. Did we give it to Sebastian when he was born? I guess that'd be a good idea. I could totally write his name on it and hand it to him. But his mother, Uliana, did listen to the audio of that book a lot when she was pregnant. She's pretty cool. And so I also narrated the How to Become Money workbook. And there is something I cannot say enough about that freaking book. If and or when you ever are like, I mean, the thing is, if you're somebody that's like, access bars is too expensive, I'm not doing that. I don't even know why you're here listening right now. If you've made it this far, I'm not sure if that's the case. If you've made it this far into this little show and you're still thinking that about access bars, I highly suggest asking, who does this belong to? Yeah, I highly suggest, not because you're wrong, but because more of an acknowledgement of like, there's no fucking way you made it this far and that is your actual point of view. It's like 99.9 bazillion nines afterwards % guaranteed that is not fucking yours. You just, who does that belong to? Every robot that is mine, destroy and create it all, right, wrong, goodbye, bubble, gun, shorts, boys, pillheads, and beyonds. And rescind it, everything, rescind it to conscious, the return to sender with consciousness attached. There we go. So in that book, it's a $35 freaking book. You can get it anywhere. I also recorded the audiobook, so you can listen to that like a bunch of times. And personally, that is, if I feel like I don't have the money for something that I would really like, if I'm smart, I listen to that book. I listen to that recording. A lot of times I'm not smart. A lot of times I'm like, I've listened to it too many times. Like, it's not going to work again, which is a terrible, it's not a question. It's a terrible question because it's not a question at all. Because in truth, every freaking time I listen to that thing, if I listen to it every day in a row for like a while, I haven't listened to it today, so I'm going to get on it and listen to it again. Everything with money just gets easier. Now, the other thing is I did a free call like 2 days ago called Is All of Life Coming to You with Ease, Joy, and Gory? I highly suggest it. If you really want the recording of that, email me at connor@connorjhill.com. We'll get you hooked up. Because the other thing you can also do to make everything in your life easier is go, all of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. All of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. All of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. All of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. All of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. All of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. All of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. All of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. All of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. All of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. And saying it 10 times in the morning and saying it 10 times in the evening, or as many times as you like, less or more. I highly suggest at minimum, because then if you're like, I say it 3 times a day and it's not working, maybe say it more. It starts to show up for you. And I did this friggin' free call thing because I realized for myself that I was willing to have all of life come to me with ease and joy and not glory, but gory, which kind of goes along with my beginning of talk about the adventure. So, geez, glory. I'm having it now. So, would you all allow me to contribute to all of you? I'm not going to get showing up at any access consciousness class, having the money come into your life that you would like. Cool. Cheers, mate. All right. Well, that's going to finish up our show. Next week, that energy is apparently just going to keep going for an indefinite period of time. So just allow it to keep going and just go and just go and just go and just go. And next week, I may or may not be able to do one of these because I think I might be on an airplane. Yeah, I'm going to be kind of like on an airplane headed to Rome. Boy, my life is terrible. No, it's not. It's so good. Cool. So everything that doesn't allow you all to have all of life come to you with ease and joy and glory, we destroy and upgrade it all. Times Godzillion, right, wrong, good, bad, pop, call 9 shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. Awesome. Till next time, everyone. I think we're just going to have to replay this episode next week. That'll be perfect. Brilliant. And for those of you that are in Turkey or Istanbul, good night. I bid you adieu. Görüşürüz. Tamam. Farewell. Bye-bye.